Sorry for being a little bit late here, but like always, my name's Jose Najarro. If you have any questions on semiconductor stocks, on AI stocks, this overall 1 hour live stream, I just try to answer as much Q&A as possible. So make sure to get those questions to us in the overall chat. It should be a fun episode. Let me just get everything set up. I was just coming from a personal live stream for my overall community that I do have. We kind of do a nice live stream there looking at some deep dive analysis. And if you want to join that community, make sure to check out whatthechiphappened.com. Use code 2026 to get 33% off. So we do deep dives there. Now we're just going to focus on just Q&A sessions here, and overall a lot of excitement. I mean, we have CoreWeave stock up 10%. Insane. Let me just get some stuff set up here, guys, while we look, and let's get to some questions. Jose, the cynic in me thinks the $2 billion from NVIDIA to CoreWeave is more of a bailout investment than it's more of a bailout than investments. Your thoughts? I mean, I don't think it's a bailout. I mean, I think CoreWeave is doing fine with the revenue they are collecting. I think it's more of a bailout, and let me just say this word. It's a bailout, but not a bailout like you're trying to, like you're thinking about, in my opinion, right? A bailout of right now, the market is scared for CoreWeave, right? It's everybody's talking about the negativeness of it, the heavy balance sheet, heavy debt, GPU depreciations, and all the negative aspects between this industry. I think this is more of a bailout of outside that market sentiment, right? I don't think it's necessarily a bailout on the financial side. Obviously, a $2 billion investment is strong, but I don't think it's one to CoreWeave was going to drop and go bankrupt. I think it's more of a bailout to show the confidence of this market sentiment is completely wrong. Let me bail you out of that sentiment. But I can definitely see why the cynic in you, right? I don't think it's wrong to think of it like that, right? I definitely don't. I think it's always good to see the bearish side or the negative aspect of it. Um, I don't know if I'm just bullishly blind, but I think it's more of a bailout of the sentiment than the bailout of the actual company needing a bailout. Good morning. Yo, what's up? Good morning. Appreciate everybody joining. Oracle done or dip? We'll get to some questions, right? We'll get to some questions first. Let me make sure I have everything open in the overall stream. Let me open certain things so I can also see if we get any, not that it's necessary, but if we get any super chats, I want to make sure I see them. So let me make sure I have everything open as needed. And like always, get those questions to me as soon as possible. And we're going to have some fun here. All right, so let's look at Oracle. Oracle stock. Is it done or is this a dip? I think it's all dependent on the AI infrastructure race, right? I think this is, it all depends if you believe, if the AI market is going to continue to do well, which I do think, and Oracle is building a lot of infrastructure. They have massive RPO. I think this can do a turnaround story. I mean, once you start to see more of that AI infrastructure built out, once you start to see more of that revenue being collected, so if you're bullish in the AI industry, I think Oracle is definitely a dip. If you're bearish on the AI industry, it's definitely a done. It's as simple as that. Labon, I'm pretty sure I'm butchering all the names already. Avco. I mean, Broadcom, you have strong wins here, right? You have the Google TPUs is going to continue to do well. They have other ASIC players also building, other hyperscalers building ASIC. I think the opportunity for Broadcom is still there. I personally don't own it, and I'm not going to own it anytime soon. I like my NVIDIA investment using, I prefer NVIDIA, and I think the markets will kind of move very similar to each other, and they're both really targeting the main customers. So I can understand why people would have both. Uh, Levante, Levante. I'm horrible, so my apologies. I'm very excited for tomorrow's earnings. Gonna be wild. They are, Matt. What do we have? Tomorrow is going to be crazy in earnings. I'm gonna be live streaming with both Amit and European Jose. Just kidding, with Neil, and we got ASML in the morning. So I'll probably be talking about that during the live stream here. We do have Meta platforms after hours. I'm super excited for Meta. ServiceNow, I know people follow the software space. This one's taking quite a hit, so ServiceNow might be interesting for some. Lam Research is one that's doing really well in the equipment space. So Lam Research, Tesla, obviously there's a lot of Tesla excitement. Microsoft, this would be Meta and Microsoft, right? Will tell us a lot about capital expenditure. Microsoft will tell us a lot about the cloud market. And I can already tell you what they're going to say. Hey, look, we need more AI chips. We're compute constrained. We would have gone faster. We thought we were going to be at a balance in the next few quarters. That's not true anymore. We're going to need even more and more AI chips, and we're going to increase chip investments. SK Hynix is also happening tomorrow, but that's super late at night. But SK Hynix, I know many people don't follow it since it's not a US based company, but they will give us a lot of great insight. Let's see. Oh, Eddie, I talked, I did my research, Eddie, on what were you? Photonic computing. So photonic computing, right? So there's two types of photonic computing. I was wondering which one you were talking about. First, there's photonic computing in forms of a research and development phase right now, where they're actually thinking of using like optics to kind of design AI accelerators. That's still in research and development stage. But the real photonics computing is in, let me see where I have it. Let me just pull over real quick. It's obviously in the communication phase, right? In the communication of it, we see Microsoft do it really. We see NVIDIA recently announced kind of their co-packaged optics networking solution. So if you're looking for where it's being used right now, it's definitely kind of like the scale-up fabrics, right? Your optical input and output chiplets. I think that's something that maybe Astera Labs hits into, but you do have companies like Celestial AI. Marvell recently made the acquisition of Celestial AI for photonic fabric scale-up interconnects. You know that Broadcom is working and invested in CPO. We see NVIDIA with their silicon photonics networking. So right now, photonic computing is pretty much a hybrid where you're mainly being used in your traditional computing, right? Where it's mainly used in scale up and scale out interconnects. There are startup companies that are working on photonic computing where they're trying to make AI compute accelerators with optical and photonic solutions. So that one's still in early stages. I think typically what we're seeing, right? We're seeing a lot of companies invest in co-optics package for networking. You have kind of the optical I/O chiplets. So that those are the, hopefully that helped a little bit. So there's a certain market there, but it's still more of like a hybrid approach, right? I don't think you're going to see an optical photonics AI accelerator anytime soon. There are a few startups doing that, but it's more for the networking of scale up and scale out approach. So now I can erase that out of my board. Let's see, what else do we have? VGT just exploded today. What is VGT? Vanguard Information Technology. So it's just, it seems to tech ETF. I should have known. Index fund. Yeah, I mean, you have a lot of excitement. You have Microsoft 1.8% up. You have Amazon up. You have Apple up 2.2%, which is interesting. I don't know why Apple would be up, especially with memory prices extremely high. How is that going to affect the phone industry? Just curious. NVIDIA up roughly 1.6%. AMD dwindling there, up about almost 1%. Broadcom up about 2.5%. So overall, tech market seems to be rallying. And like always, I mean, CoreWeave CoreWeave up nearly 10%. Nebius, or however it's pronounced, up 5.7. Iron, Simon, if you're out here, Iron is doing really good, up 8%. You have Cypher Mining, you have some of these other plays also up another 5% as well. So overall, extremely, extremely strong day for the tech market. Yes. Okay, so that's what you were talking about, AI accelerators. So AI accelerators, I saw some news like that. I forget what was the company. Ayar Labs was one I think that was working on it. Light Matter, I think, is another one that was working on stuff like that. But I think the best way for Photonic is the scale up and scale out approach, and it's the networking side, right? And that's why we see companies like Marvell recently make that acquisition of Celestial. Now, another thing that I did learn throughout this quick research, Eddie, was that a big manufacturer of kind of photonic solutions and optics is Global Foundries. Global Foundries is expanding their silicon photonics leadership capacity. So if one is looking for a foundry side in this, it seems like that's a player on, again, just a very top level research, nothing in depth. Oh, they did play Doom in it. That's actually pretty cool. That they play it. Applied up 13%. Yeah, I mean, I try to see was there any news on that on Applied Digital, up 13% today, and up 64%. What's up, Brian? 64% in the past month. I haven't seen anything really impacting. Is it just the excitement, or was there actual news, Ryan, that you may know? Who's Sanadu Photonic Quantum? Is that a company? Where you learn. See, this is why I enjoy doing these live streams. It's you learn something new. So there is a quantum photonic computer out there. What's up, 24/7? What's going on? Yeah. Global Foundries is the one that I kept seeing, at least on the top level. Happy 1-year birthday, DeepSeek moment. It's only been 1 year. I think that's wild. I think it's crazy how it feels like forever ago, but that's how quickly this AI market moves, right? It's wild. It's been 1 year, and today we did get a new AI model from China, right? And it's supposedly extremely well. Kiwi AI model, is it Kiwi? I forget what they're called. No, what is the model name? I forget. China AI model. It's not Kiwi. It's not DeepSeek either. It's not Qwen. Is it Q? Let's go to X real quick. I'm curious. I'm curious to see what was the AI model. Is it Kiwi AI? No, it's not. It's not. What the heck? The name is AI model agents. Let's look. AI model agent. It's an open source model. It's so. Can someone tell me in the chat what is it? I know someone here knows it. There is an AI model that just came out, open source from China, that is extremely strong. Oh my goodness. Kimi. It's not Kiwi, it's Kimi. I guess I saw my Kimi too. Yeah, so Kimi AI. Let's follow this. Is this a Chinese? I think it's Chinese, right? Is Kimi AI? I'm gonna guess. Is this Chinese? Yes, it is. All right. So K 2.5. So Kimi K 2.5. Basically, it's better than everything out there. I think they're comparing GPT 5.2 X high, Cloud Opus 4.5, and Gemini 3 Pro. So in coding, it seems Claude is still the base. I guess it depends on Verify and multilingual. Oh, interesting there, actually there. But Claude still, or even here, still pretty good. So it's competitive, right? It's a competitive open source model. I think this one, I'm pretty sure it's open source model. Um, so I'm surprised this isn't having another DeepSeek moment, right? But yeah, I don't know why I was saying Kiwi. What else? Amid just ending. Oh, he does. Awesome. Awesome. I actually picked a great time then. So he's just ending now the flood of Amid refugees coming in. Um, hello, everybody. What's going on, George? NVIDIA, go, go, go. Let's go, NVIDIA. I'm honestly shocked Apple is up though. Micron, that's another one. This one completely shocks me all the time. Refugees incoming. I should have like a welcome banner. You guys should tell me when he ends stream, and I just like I just put a sign meets refugees welcome. Looking for looking for shelter. NVIDIA wants to go further. I hope so. It's cold outside. NVIDIA, yeah, I mean, NVIDIA stock, we getting that 190. Maybe I should open up trading view, right? Let's not look like complete noobs. And like always, guys, make sure to get those questions in. We can NVIDIA. It's we don't need no what do you guys, you degenerates, like to look at? Minutes? Let's hide some of these stuff. Can I? All right. And did we hit 190? All right, I'm not gonna do that. You guys can look while I grab some questions. We love our community. I appreciate you guys. Good morning, Michael. We love you too, Jose. Not exclusive to him. Apple's gonna kill it. Every single person I know got a new phone. Interesting. I haven't seen. I guess I just have broke friends. My friends might be too broke. I haven't really seen anybody get a new phone in a while. But again, maybe I just have broke friends. I gotta step up. Jose, did you ever play RuneScape? I did not. I was actually a WoW player. I kind of still am, but mainly a WoW player, right? When I have time. If I have time, I would be more of a WoW player, but I was a WoW player. Make sure you hit the like button for Jose. That would be appreciated. Let's see. What other questions? Do we have any questions? Air will be participating in Oppenheimer's Emerging Growth Conference. When is that going to happen? So let's see. Let's see if Quarter is going to be covering that. Let's look. Air Technologies. Do we have anything here? Upcoming events? Yes. So on January, nope. They were at an event on January 13th. That I didn't look at, but Airtest. The one thing I hate about Airtest is such a small company that sometimes they don't post their stuff publicly, right? It's usually only to the small peeps. Hold on, quick question. Hold on, my wife. My wife's texted me something, so I just wanted to make sure everything was good. Sorry. I guess I can cover. I'll answer her later. If I sound scared, it's because I am scared of my wife. She's a scary lady. Just kidding. Don't tell her that. Alliance or Horde? Alliance. Alliance Paladin. You're our lunch buddy. Hopefully, you guys are having good lunch, right? I haven't had lunch yet. But let's see. So Airtest System. Sorry, my wife distracted me. Let's go back. Airtest System, Investors Relations. Air to participate on February 23rd. We look forward for information or to schedule a virtual meeting with. Please contact. All right. So I hope I'm going to be able to listen to it. I definitely like at least reading the transcript. So thank you for that. I'm going to see maybe if I can meet up. I'll see if I can. Now that I've done the live interviews with NVIDIA, I wonder if I can use that as leverage and say, look, Airtest System, I've done interviews with some of the top players. Would one of your management be welcome to get a quick interview, maybe 20, 30 minutes? And maybe we can get a lot more companies. I think kind of doing NVIDIA might help me out doing that. Happy wife, happy life. Don't get in trouble, Jose. Just kidding. She's not scary. Yeah, she is a little bit. Oh wow, Robert got a new iPhone phone Air. That's the super expensive one, right? Man, you guys are rich. What's going on, Robert? Let's see what other questions. So Applied Digital Delta Forge 1 is planned as a 431 megawatt campus in the southern United States. Is this new news for Applied Digital? I thought this was old news. Digital Delta, what is it called again? Delta Forge. See, so the stock is up on this. January 22nd. So Delta Forge is designed to initially support 400 megawatts of total utility power across two buildings with the ability to scale considerably over time. Considerably means a lot, right? Considerably means up to, yeah. So, and this is also important, right? 430 megawatts, that's not total, that's just gross. The actual IT workload is 300. And this is what needs to be improved over time, right? You have over 430 power. How can you make that even higher, right? If we see improvements overall here, a single plant can pick up an extra. I don't think you'll ever have 100% efficiencies, right? But if you improve this efficiency, you can add even more power, in theory, more revenue. So when is this coming on? To 100 gigawatts, more than 500. When is it expected to come on? Initial operations at Delta Forge 1 are expected to commence in mid 2027. So this is what's moving. Um, I think that makes more sense, Jimmy. I love being married though. You just don't feel attacked. I love everybody out here. Do you buy anything outside of tech? No, no, very rare for me, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be in the AI market, but it has to be in the tech space. Now, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I'm not saying that's an impossible for me to go. I like, for example, my wife started buying those expensive eggs, what they called, something farms, eggs, farms company. What is it called? Like Vital Farms, right? So like Vital Farms, my wife buys this nonstop. So you can see like I was looking at Vital Farm stocks. I'm not opposed to it. I have a little one that only eats he eats some crazy like fresh food pouches. What is it? Something spoon baby food company. What is it called? Oh my god, Little Spoon. I think it's Little Spoon. Little Spoon IPO. Is this the one that's gonna go IPO? No, it's not Little Spoon, but there's another company. Something Farms. No. So top baby food companies. I don't know how we're here. I'm just curious. Matt Gerver. No. Serenity. Once Upon a Farm. So my Once Upon a Farm baby food. And this is expected to go IPO. Like money I know I'm spending ridiculous money on for no reason. I sometimes look into, right? So I'm not opposed to getting into the into outside the tech, but it has to be something I'm using. Uh, but yeah, yeah. So I've seen that, right? You can see the webcams of the chicken running around. Um, yeah. It's funny how you can actually notice the difference in the eggs. But Jose, SanDisk has earnings Fridays. Any thoughts on outlooks? I mean, just the memory market is completely sold out, right? I think that's the same outlook they're going to give us. I think now investors are going to be curious of when that market ends or when there's a turnaround. I don't think it's happening anytime soon. Personally, I'm not investing in the memory space, but I know Seagate, right? STX reports earnings today. Year to date, the stock is up 31%, right? This is wild. 31% year to date. It's literally January 27th. In the past year, the stock is up 265%. Dave Silva, if you're watching this, I don't know why you didn't tell me about this company. A friend of mine bought this and kept it all to himself. On earnings, Air Test said, if you're ever in town, come visit us and see our facilities. Considering they say that to basically everyone, I think they'd be very open to interviews. I hope so. I'm going to try, I'll try emailing them. I'll find a great email to maybe get an interview with them. Glad you started streaming after Jose. Joe. Appreciate it, right? I honestly didn't time it. This is actually just the best time it worked for me. Early when I was doing it with Neil, it was just doesn't it wasn't working. Just because with the little one and sometimes the morning, I'd like to like just hang out with him before I start real work. But 11 was like the perfect time where I was really, really sitting down, and so it ended up working fine. Do you think Meta can break 760? That would be wild. That would be wild. I mean, 760, Gene? I mean, I don't know. I would say it seems like maybe you're doing an option play, Gene here. 760 is extremely hard. They would have to. How could they even do this? Right? What would they? It would have to be some catalyst moment, some crazy, crazy return on advertisement. They would have to say something like AI has improved our efficiencies by like 20,000%. I don't know. For them to do that, I think it what's that, like a 15% growth? 60, I think maybe 60 to 60, 67 plus 34, 33.2. That would be about a 15% group. Yeah. Jose Navarro, just remember SpongeBob, big guy, pants, okay? I don't know what that means. Am I feeling old for not knowing what this means? What do you think about the death of SaaS, and are you nibbling at anything in that space? So, Jimmy, I think the death of SaaS is overrated. I don't think AI is going to eat this market. Um, but I think market sentiment will continue to be in this negative space, right? I think that's the thing right now. I think the market is putting this death of SaaS and is creating this negative trend on all these stocks. Now the business is showing something completely, completely different, right? We saw Adobe. I mean, perfect example. They're seeing improvements in revenues. Um, they are. They talked about their AI credits. They talked about their AI credits and how that's seeing a growth in the last quarter. They realized they mentioned, I think they're seeing an inflection point in AI credit generations, right? So they're seeing more customers willing to pay for AI credits and use even more AI credits. So businesses are doing well, at least the top players. But I think the negative sentiment towards AI companies will continue. Um, so that's my thoughts on the death of AI. It's a song. It's stuck in my head. Big man, I don't know if I remember that song. Let's see what other questions do we have. And like always, guys, just get any questions you have. And if I might have missed it, everything that AI is suppressing currently will be benefiting from AI. Expansion and adoption down the lines. With that being said, leaves. I guess that might be the right St. Louis. That might be the Schneider St. Louis. I think. Yeah. The thing is, leaps. How long of a leaps, right? I mean, many people would have said Adobe would eventually have turned out with this AI market. You would have probably said that a year ago. Your leaps would be worthless. Even maybe like 2 years ago, right? Let's look back in 2023, right? Let's go to January of 2023. Even then, right? 2 year leaps, you're still 3 year leaps, still out of you would have sucked. 2 year leaps, you would have been down. 1 year leaps, you would have been down. Um, so that's the scary thing about leaps is you're gonna pay for something, and if you end up being wrong just because the market sentiment continues, um, you're gonna end up just wasting money. Adobe, Now, Intuit, CRM, Shop, all undervalued. The only one I don't like, um, the only one I don't like is well, I don't know ServiceNow too much, and I don't know Intuitive. CRM, Salesforce. I don't like Salesforce. I don't like their CEO. I think their CEO is extremely, I don't know, arrogant. Maybe might be the right word for the wrong reasons too. I think he. I don't know. I don't like his leadership style or how he portrays himself. Shop. I used to own Shop. I don't own it anymore. But Shop, I definitely think is primed for the AI market and the e-commerce world, and Adobe too. So those two I kind of follow. So I could say I wouldn't be upset owning them, but I don't own them. Um, let's see what else do we have here. Jose, I know you're not big on SanDisk, but do you think that their high bandwidth flash has any viability in data centers, considering HBM is in shortage? I think they might hit different markets, right? Edster, Eddie. There's obviously I think all types of storage, and there's all different types of storage bottlenecks. Um, so that's a market I think we're going to continue to see sold out, but I don't think it's a replacement to HBM or anything like that. There was another question here that I saw. Let's just go back to NVIDIA real quick. I'm tired of seeing red. I want to see some green, a little bit of green. When is NVIDIA out of this 170 and 190 range? I don't know. Hopefully soon. Boom, boom, boom. I think earnings is going to be exciting. I think GTC is going to be extremely exciting. I actually am confirming that I am going to be at GTC. So I'll be learning a lot during it. So hopefully, if some of you are making it there, that'll be pretty awesome to meet up. Is NVIDIA still investing in RX? I don't think they've bought anymore, Brad, since their initial investment. And I don't know how their initial investment worked either. That was a while ago, but they still own. Last time I checked their overall 13F, they still owned RXRX. For those that are not familiar, RXRX is a company that focuses in using AI for drug discovery. Super small market cap, $2.4 billion, extremely volatile. This would be kind of one of those like YOLO style plays, in my opinion. But they have infrastructure. They have a nice amount of H100 supercomputers, and they have a nice amount of data, and they are kind of progressing there. Why is CoreWeave up? I think there's two reasons CoreWeave is up. First is just the overall AI market is extremely exciting right now, right? We have companies like NVIDIA up almost 2%. We have Microsoft up near 2%. Then you have the $2 billion investment from NVIDIA yesterday. So that's that's another reason. Another reason is CoreWeave did mention that they're going to start to sell their software stack as kind of like an independent product, and software revenue could be high. It typically is high margin. So that's another reason. And I think the fifth reason is you do see a little bit of price targets. So upgrade. So CoreWeave overall extremely exciting, $111. Which bodes extremely well, especially for. I wish there was someone that was talking about CoreWeave when this one was cheap, right? I wish there was someone that was talking about CoreWeave, but who knows? Maybe one day we'll find someone that was talking about CoreWeave at those levels. Good morning, Esmal Nueve. Esmal. Yeah, so I think it was just a little bit of everything. Do you think CoreWeave can hit 150 to 170 again this year? This is a very volatile stock. I think this year it could hit $70, and I think it can hit $150, right? That's how crazy the stock moves. It could hit $60 as well. So do I think? Yes, I think it's possible. Will I be right? That's a whole different story. I left this as a comment on your previous video, but do you think CoreWeave down the road is a potential candidate to get completely bought out by NVIDIA? What would that mean from a regulatory standpoint? Mm, the completely get bought out by NVIDIA? I think the answer is no, unless the hyperscalers all decide to slow down their investments on NVIDIA. If all these hyperscalers say, look, we're not buying any more of your NVIDIA chips, NVIDIA would say, no problem. I'm going to build my own AI infrastructure play. The easiest way to do that is by buying CoreWeave. That would be the only scenario where I can see that happening. Will that scenario happen? Now that's a whole different story. But 794, that would be the only scenario I can see that playing out. And regulatory, I don't think it would be much of a regulatory push because you have hyperscalers all over with massive sizes. I mean, what would regulatory say? It's a monopoly. How could it be a monopoly when you have AWS, when you have Azure, when you have Google Cloud, and all of them are building their own AI chips as well. So I don't think it's personally, I don't see much of a. If it was to ever happen, I don't see much of a regulatory because it's not a commodity market. The only one that was talking about, I think people were talking about it, but just not in a nice way. I think, Jimmy, that's actually, I mean, I could see that, right? The only only way that NVIDIA breaks out is when we see the next Chat GPT like product outside of chatbots. Maybe we see more AI agents though. I think more AI agents could definitely see a push out here. But also robotics. I agree. Robotics or the wearables market. I think is where is when we could definitely see a stronger breakout, right? But I mean, Jimmy, just on pure financials, I think if Nvidia continues to dominate and beat expectations, I think you don't have a breakout, but you have more like these step up functions. Um, uh, Thanks for taking the question. Yes, that was a great answer. Appreciate you. I appreciate being appreciated. When are hyperscalers buying some AMD chips? I mean, we know Oracle Mormon is buying MI 350s already, 355s. I think let's pull up quarter really quickly. Actually, let's go to fiscal.ai. And if you need 15% off and don't have this platform, fiscal.ai/Jose. So Oracle, I think they talked about it in their latest earnings. So we go to the transcript, custom summary. What did they say about AMD's MI 350? Boom, 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 boom. Nickelodeon. Oracle's the delivery of AMD's MI 355 capacity to customers during the quarter. So yeah, I know Oracle purchased in the most recent quarter, and they're getting shipments here. So Oracle's buying the MI 450 that comes out in the second half of this year. We're expecting, I guess, orders from Meta, from OpenAI, which could be maybe Microsoft as well, but OpenAI and Microsoft, and Meta and Oracle. I think those are the only three. We haven't gotten any confirmations or any thoughts that Amazon would purchase it or that Google would purchase it. But at least you have hope on Meta. You know OpenAI is going to do it. Will Microsoft do it independently, or is it just going to be kind of with OpenAI? I think it might be. I think both might do it, and then you have Oracle as well. Has there been any new news with NVIDIA selling their chips to China? I know Jensen is in China right now, and if that's positive news, keeps rising, NVIDIA could break out, right? You have great analysis. Appreciate it. I don't know. I think no new updates, right? The biggest thing is, I think a week ago, Louis, we saw NVIDIA, we saw China news about China allowing companies, China, H200, Alibaba. Right, that's 4 days ago. We saw China tells Alibaba that the company is able to purchase H200 orders. I think in between there, they also said if you buy H200s, you also have to buy chips domestically from Huawei or whoever else is providing. So we do have that news. Outside of that, the only other thing we have is what you mentioned. Jensen is in China right now. And I think yesterday during a CNBC interview, he was mentioning that he was meeting with customers. That's it. But actual confirmation, we don't have right now. How is Broadcom not a threat to AMD? I actually think it is, right? I mean, that's the main reason. And shout out to, sorry, let me give a quick shout out here. Shout out to Adam to becoming a member support. Appreciate it, Adam. Thank you. That means a lot. I think Broadcom is a competitor to AMD, 100%. Why do Google and Amazon not buy AMD chips right now? Because they have NVIDIA chips and then they have their ASIC chips, right? That has been helped with Broadcom, right? Google has the TPUs. So Google's saying, look, we need NVIDIA. We don't need a second player because our TPUs are fine. If they didn't have the TPUs, maybe it would have been a different story. Maybe Google will be buying more AMD. So I would say, at least for now, Broadcom is a competitor. We have to see with the MI450, right? The MI450 changes TCO a lot for hyperscalers because you will have kind of this 72 GPU connection base like NVL72, and that changes TCO dramatically. So we would have to see if those improvements that AMD has done with the full rack scale system if that gives the incentive for companies like Google and companies like Amazon to buy it. But as of right now, I would say Broadcom is a threat to AMD, and one of the reasons Google and Amazon don't buy them right now. How much further do you think? And if I missed your question, just feel free to ask it again. I appreciate all the support. And sometimes this chat moves a little bit quicker than I can move in. So I won't consider it spam. If I missed your question, feel free to just ask it again. But Sid here. How much further do you think Micron and other memory players can run? I feel like this is NVIDIA's moment for memory players. I think it could keep running, right? I mean, the memory market is extremely sold out. It's just not an investment for me, right? It's definitely not an investment for me because when this is going to turn around, I think it's going to turn around fast. And I don't know. I just don't. I feel. I feel like I can't really tell the turnaround story, and it could just happen out of nowhere. So to me, the risk to reward ratio is not there. But I mean, we see more companies developing more AI chips. I mean, what we saw, Microsoft just announced their Maya 200 yesterday, which is going to be using HBM3E, even though that seems to be, there's been reports that SK Hynix is the only one that's going to be providing that HBM3E. But also Micron is sold out, so maybe they just couldn't sell to them. But this market, we heard from TSMC, AI accelerators are expected to grow at a 50 plus compounded annual growth rate for the next few years. There's going to be a shortage. It's not going to end this year. Sold out for 2026. It can't end this year, right? I think theoretically, physically, it just can't. You can't build manufacturing that big. But to me, I just don't know. I get scared. It's very rare for me. I don't know. It's very rare. Not very rare. There's certain markets that scare me. That scare me with risk to reward ratio. Micron is one of them, and that doesn't mean I'm bearish on the stock. It's just I just wouldn't know what to do here. I'd rather AI infrastructure scare other people. Memory scares me. I would say with the low PE ratio, right? I've talked about it in the past. Micron usually trades at a low PE ratio, right? Is the memory HBM solution changing that? I don't know. What do you think of Tesla as a company or as technology? As a technology, I'm always impressed. Every time I use FSD, I'm impressed. From an engineer standpoint, I think the engineers are insane there at Tesla. As a company, it's right. It's dependent, obviously, on the automotive business right now, right? But you have the potential of robotics. They will do really well with real physical AI. I'm personally not buying it though, right? I own a very small Tesla, not something to really like throw a party about. But I don't know. I think I have better opportunities elsewhere than Tesla. But as a technology and engineering standpoint, there's extremely well. Kareem, are you in SoFi, Jose? No, definitely not in the fintech space. Not for anything bearish. I don't know if anything bearish. I just don't follow it, right? Definitely not market. What do you think about Zebra Technologies? Looking pretty cheap. I don't follow this one, Ton. Dark Hunter. I don't follow this one. Symbotic in the robotic space. I don't follow it. I don't own Symbotic, but they definitely are trying to kind of do like that full stack approach in the robotic space. So this one is looking interesting in the robot manufacturing, robot distribution centers, and they don't just do the robots, right? They do kind of the full approach. Kind of like, you know how NVIDIA builds the full AI data centers. Symbotic is kind of going with like building the full robotic center solution, which I think is actually pretty unique. I don't know if there's competitors in that space, but that business model makes sense. And we've kind of seen it like with NVIDIA and the data center approach being a full stack infrastructure. Symbotic, I think, is doing that with the robotics data center play. Thanks for your perspective. I might have missed this already. What did I say? But I'm glad you like it. What's your, wow, I don't know, United Health forecast. I'm going to make a wild prediction. All right. I don't follow this stock. Wild prediction. Clip it. We're going to be at Let's see. Forecast by May 26th. May 26th, 2026, or just May 2026? We're going to see $327 on May 26th. That's my forecast. Crystal ball might be broken 99% of the time. Then my research symbiotics are run on NVIDIA chips. Oh, interesting. Like the robots are run on NVIDIA chips, like Thor's, or are the like kind of the simulations of things and kind of like the cloud behind it and the software run on NVIDIA's data center chips. Let's see here. What are your thoughts on SOXL compared to USD? Let's look at Fiscal.ai and let's look at the breakdown. I think SOXL. Wait, first, SOXL is a leverage ETF. So I would be extremely careful with leverage ETFs. But I think the actual version of this one is SOXQ, the non-leverage version. Or is it SOXX? No, is it XOXQ? I don't know. But let's just look at it really quick. So SOXL, I mean, you have big players being good portion of the company's total value, right? You have Micron 8.5%, you have AMD 8.2, you have Nvidia 7.3, you have Applied Materials 6.5, you have Broadcom. This one you have diversified within I think 20 something names, but like the top 10 make up about 50%. I think the difference between this one and USD is a lot more diversified. USD. ProShares Ultra. Is this, well, this is not it, right? Is this it? No, I don't think so compared to USD. Is this true? No, I thought USD ETF, semiconductors. Did you give me the right ticker? It's another leverage. I would say just be careful with leverage ETFs. Let's see holdings. This one has, well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you want NVIDIA exposure, you're just going USD. You get some Broadcom, you get some Micron, right? I think with XOXQ, you get more diversified. I was thinking of something else. What is the semiconductor ETF? ETFs. Well, like I said, exposure leverage ETFs are not anything I would do. I definitely don't like this. Which is the one I was thinking about? I thought it was USD. Oh, XSD, I think is the one I was talking about. Is XSD the one you mean? But XSD, I think it's a lot more diversified. Yeah, see, so like the biggest is Micron with 4.1. So with XSD, you get more diversification, less concentration. With SOXX, you get the opposite, right? You get more concentration within certain names. So it's like whichever approach you want to go. I personally like heavier concentration, especially when you have NVIDIA and AMD at top positions. But I also wouldn't be opposed to more diversified. SMH. I think SMH there's SMH. Again, I think you're very similar to, I like SMH the most, right? Because SMH is my favorite because I'm a huge NVIDIA bull. So I get a massive exposure of NVIDIA here. And then, like I said, I'm not too excited about Micron. So Micron not being a top major holding is good. TSM up there, good. Broadcom up there, good. ASML, AMD, right? So I like SMH exposure a lot more because it's more with companies I really do enjoy. Especially like I mentioned, NVIDIA is 20%. Now, if you don't want equipment players, then you also have SMHX. I think SMH is no equipment players. And also looks, now with the equipment stocks being maybe a little too excited, SMHX looks a little bit different, right? You don't have the equipment players, so you don't have that cyclicality in the equipment space. You have NVIDIA, you have Broadcom, you have AMD, you have Synopsys, you have MP Power, you have Astera Labs, you have Qualcomm. SMHX is probably my favorite right now. Right now, SMH is probably my favorite. Oh, did I freeze? Did I mute? Am I still muted? Testing, testing. No? Muted? Am I still muted? Bum, 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 bum. Muted. All right. People are saying I'm good. Got sub-zeroed. Hmm. All right. You're fine. I hear you. I hear. All right. Awesome. Awesome. So, is there anything I messed up? If I was to say, SMHX is probably my favorite right now. Um, just because I think equipment stocks have definitely seen quite a run up. Um, Quite a run up, and then I like SMHX because you don't get the semi equipment players right now. So yeah, Mac got you good. Oh man, you guys. Are you good? All right. Any other questions? I think I have about 7 minutes, so 7 minute timer. If I miss some questions, feel free to let me know. Somebody disconnected my headphones. You're good. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Is this what you guys pull on the mitt all the time? I gotta not fall for him. Disconnected my headphones. You are good. Let's see what else. Jose, you missed my super chat. Let's see. I'm sorry. Um, all right. So, hey, Jose, have you looked at Ticker Simple's video on AMD and NVIDIA? He claims, I'm sorry I missed it. Let me just pop this out so I don't miss any super chats. If I do miss a super chat, please let me know. All right. So, um, hi, Jose, have you looked at Ticker Symbol U on AMD? He claims AMD will fail long-term thoughts. I don't, I saw the video, so I did see the video. I think it depends on how you are as an AMD investor. There's two types of AMD investors, in my opinion. I think the first AMD investor is the one he was trying to target, and is AMD investors that think AMD will destroy NVIDIA. Then there's the other types of AMD investor, and this is the type of AMD investor that I am. I think AMD is not going to beat NVIDIA, but that doesn't matter. AMD, the market is so compute constrained. There's such a need for more AI chips and different styles of AI chips that you're going to have a second player that still will be able to grow revenue. And Ticker Simple Use video does the following. It talks about AMD being the NVIDIA being the leader in innovation. And this is completely true. NVIDIA was the leader with NVL72, right? 72 GPUs connected into each other. That was a core concept of being a great TCO for the inference market. Extremely, extremely important. Now, NVIDIA is moving into another direction. They see this kind of constraint in the storage market, and they're creating the storage system. And they're the first to be able to do this. They're going to continue to lead. AMD is now working on kind of like a 72 GPU connection system. We're going to see it with the MI450. I think eventually they're going to have some form of storage system, but not every single type of workload is going to need that type of compute. There's going to be all different types of workloads where you're going to be working with smaller models that just your HBM on chip is more than enough. And you're not always working with long context. You're not always working. Sometimes you might just be working with extremely low context data where you don't need these massive storage systems. So there's different types of AI workloads. NVIDIA is going to continue to dominate everything. But I think in certain workloads, AMD is going to be competitive. Um, I think that video was more if you are an AMD bull and think AMD is going to destroy NVIDIA. I think that paints a perfect picture of why AMD is not going to beat NVIDIA. But it doesn't mean that AMD is going to be a bad investment because there's different types of workloads. There's different types of model sizes. There's different types of context lengths. There's different types of latency needs. There's different types of throughputs needs for these different types of AI solutions. And not all of them need that up-to-date crazy tech, right? So that's where I'm going to go with that. So hopefully that makes sense. Uh, I don't think AMD will win in inference. Brandon, I don't think so. I think NVIDIA will continue to dominate in inference, but it's not a one winner takes all. Um, well, no, with Micron breaking ground and Samsung, SK High expanding as well, doesn't Lam feel like a great complement to a portfolio through the next few years or so? Luckily, we've been talking about Lam Bono for a while in this channel, and that was one of the biggest bullish thesis for Lam Research. Is this is a company that's very, very um, it's very not dependent, but they have a lot of concentration in the memory players. So if the memory players are building more solution and more infrastructure, then that means Lam is going to do well. The stock is up about 100%. So I don't know how more exciting that is, especially since we were talking about this from below the $100. But there is Lam is definitely very well exposed to the memory market. And like you mentioned, Bono, that is definitely a bullish thesis. I think now is that bullish thesis enough to do the risk to reward ratio with the current valuation? Now that's the whole different question, right? Yeah, and thank you for the info, Jose. I appreciate it. I'm only invested in AMD because I thought it could be a good second player, and that's the thing, right? That's how I invested, and that's why I guess I didn't find that video too bearish, right? Not at all. But I think if people think that AMD was gonna wipe the floors with Nvidia, that was a video that woke people up. It's why they wouldn't. Okay, Doc Green, my apologies. Cannot hear you. I'm sorry. Sorry for those that couldn't get in. What do you think of Arista Network and the battle between open source Ethernet standards and NVIDIA InfiniBand? I mean, NVIDIA is not just doing InfiniBand, right? They also have their Spectrum X and other types of Ethernet solutions. I think there's a market for both, right? There's definitely a market for both. NVIDIA is making a lot of networking solutions. So is it a threat? Yes. But is it kind of a massive threat where Arista Networks is going to be destroyed? I don't think so. Like I mentioned, there's a lot of AI infrastructure being built out. There's different types of needs. Certain times you might not have to go and pay that NVIDIA premium, and you can go somewhere else. I don't follow Arista Networks that much though to really kind of show if it's undervalued or overvalued right now. Oh wow, this is Bono. You're going completely into like the lower levels of things. Thinking about mining companies focusing on extreme materials that are critical for building memory. That is insane. Um, Report. Appreciate the insight here. That's a whole market. I think you can just find so much information, Bono, but appreciate you bringing that to the community. If maybe somebody else wants to research that one, Bono here gave us Freeport McMoran. I'm pretty sure I mispronounced that. I have small exposure. AMD is quite overvalued right now. Mormon, I wouldn't buy before earnings, right? I think AMD has the opportunity to be a $1 trillion company, but we talked, I mean, yeah, we were just talking about this stock in the 200s just a week or two ago, right? So it's definitely seen some quite run up. It's all going to be crucial on earnings. Does Lisa Su give us guidance, or is she going to be conservative like she normally is? If she's conservative, then I'm not that excited for how the stock might react after earnings. If she gives us some strong guidance, then you could see some stock price in it. Red Pill, not Red Pillow. But Red Pillar. Actually, I gotta go. But last question here. I think Nvidia is completely undervalued, right? We have Nvidia sitting at a forward PE ratio of 26, 27. What is it? Let's look at ratios. Forward PE, boom, boom, boom. Not trailing. I don't care about trailing. Well, let's look at forward, which is the next 12 months. 27. I mean, the type of growth expected, what, 60% year-over-year growth this quarter? How is that even possible? Vera Rubin comes out next second half of this year. You have no robots yet. You don't have AI agents just yet. You don't have actual models being built on Blackwell just yet. AI inference continues to grow dramatically. I don't know. I completely say that one's undervalued. All right. Everybody, thanks for all the questions, chats, liked and sub. Jimmy, appreciate it. And to everybody, I do this every day from 11 to 12, just a quick Q&A session. Appreciate everybody joining through. Appreciate all the super chats. Let me just make sure I didn't miss any other super chat. So Armand, appreciate the super chat there. And who else did we see? We saw Adam become a member support. Appreciate you too for the support there. And like always, if you want to get deep dives on the semiconductor industry, complete deep dives, make sure to check out the AI and chip community. What the chip happened. Use code 2026 for 33% off. Now I gotta go put the little one to nap. And I'll see you all tomorrow. A lot of live streams tomorrow. I actually will be joining Amit for market close tomorrow. We will be doing earnings, and Thursday I will be joining him a little bit on market open before this live stream to kind of do a little bit more of earnings deep dive. So if some of y'all are Amit's refugees, you'll see me there tomorrow night and Thursday morning. So see you all, and take care. Couch Investor has joined the chat. What's going on, Couch? Neo? He's been mad at me. Me and him have beef. All right, peace out. Time to end this stream.